Now, historically, the second half of the year between August through to December, that has always been considered one of the most lucrative periods of the year for commodity traders. Now, based on how 2025 is already playing out, this year should be no exception. Right now, you certainly cannot talk about the greatest generational wealth transfer in history without mentioning Trump's tariffs. Alongside that, we have sticky inflation, escalating political pressures on the Fed to cut interest rates, all of which they are whipping up a lucrative money-making storm that no commodity trader wants to miss out on. Now, looking ahead, the most highly anticipated central bank gathering of 2025, that is finally upon us, and quite possibly it is going to be the most pivotal moment in Jerome Powell's career, which is finally here. As the US central bank, they face their biggest dilemma ever on whether to hold steady or cut interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, he will take central stage on Friday at the Fed's annual Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. His remarks at the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, they are attended by the world's most powerful Wall Street central bankers, which could lock in the trajectory of global financial markets throughout the remainder of 2025. Now, for commodity traders, this is not a wait and see moment. It's a make or break opportunity. There is no denying that the Fed's Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium that comes at a pivotal time. This is as financial markets, traders and policymakers, they are all grappling with central banks caught between stubborn inflation and cooling labour market, alongside escalating political pressures. Now, President Donald Trump, whose second term began on January the 20th, he has berated Jerome Powell for the Fed's failure to cut interest rates, calling him stubborn and too late. The Fed's mandate that has never looked so conflicted. Inflation remains well above the 2% target, whilst the once unstoppable US labour market that is now showing cracks. Internally, the Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee, they are divided. Hawks, they argue against cutting too soon, whilst the Doves, led by Governor Michelle Bowen, they call for aggressive easing to stave off recessionary risks. Now, markets, they're pricing in a September rate cut, but Jerome Powell, he could still surprise the markets, and whichever path that he signals, that will ignite volatility across the global financial markets. The Trump administration, they have amplified this tension. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he has publicly urged a 50 basis point rate cut in September of 2025, arguing that high interest rates, they are stifling economic growth. Whilst the Fed has historically maintained independence, the political spotlight on its decisions, they have never been brighter. Adding to the uncertainty, we have reports that indicate President Trump, he is already narrowing down the list of potential successors to Jerome Powell, whose term as Fed chair expires in May 2026. This early focus on leadership, that raises concerns about the politicalization of monetary policy, a risk that could erode the Fed's credibility. Now, for commodities, the Jackson Hole is the pivot. A dovish Jerome Powell that could weaken the US dollar, drive capital into safe haven metals such as gold, silver, palladium, and platinum, which could send prices back towards multi-year and all-time record highs. On the flip side, a hawkish Powell that could fuel a US dollar surge, triggering short-term pullbacks across the commodity complex that commodity traders can exploit for rapid windfall profits. Now, throughout this year, we have seen commodity markets notching up explosive double-digit gains. And for commodity traders, this is where fortunes are made. The asymmetrical risk to reward, it is staggering. A single well-timed trade on gold, silver, or crude oil, that could yield what would take months previously, if not years, to achieve. This week could amplify that dynamic like never before. The week-to-week, short-term macro-driven trend that we're seeing in 2025, that can be summarized as buy low, sell high, rinse and repeat and do it all over again. That's exactly why a list of the world's most powerful Wall Street banks, from Goldman Sachs to JP Morgan to Bank of America, they have dubbed the current economic climate as the golden age of trading. And Wall Street is unanimous. The second half of 2025, it is not business as usual. The Federal Reserve's decision this week will not only define Jerome Powell's legacy, it could also trigger the biggest opportunities across commodity complex since the post-pandemic boom. In a world of divided Fed outlook and global central bank divergence, clarity in policy communication, that remains the most valuable asset. If you want to prosper and thrive in today's fast-moving markets, you need to, of course, be agile, liquid, and ready to pivot as market conditions they shift. The opportunities for those who know how to navigate these markets with accuracy and precision are vast. In fact, it's times like these that make millionaires and billionaires out of regular people. The only question is, are you positioned to capitalize on the greatest financial shifts of our lifetimes, or are you still watching from the sidelines? Extraordinary times, they do create extraordinary opportunities. Right now, as commodity traders, we are living in some of the most exciting and rewarding times ever. If you have been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading events so far this year, and you still want to make the second half of 2025 your best ever, now is, of course, the time to take action. Our clients have already made in excess of 6, 7, 8-figure returns so far this year, and we're only in August. Whatever long-term goal you're looking to achieve through trading, whether that is to create a full-time income, a second or replacement income, or just to earn a better return on your savings, now is the time to take action. Right now, you have an opportunity to make the second half of 2025 your biggest and best yet, which is already shaping up to be a blockbuster period fueled by all the powerful macroeconomic shifts that are currently unfolding. Definitely do not underestimate what you can achieve in the next 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months from now. Here at the Gold and Silver Club, we're consistently banking over 10,000 points profit per month, which we have transparently documented through our weekly videos. If you're trading at 1 lot, that's $100,000. If you're trading at 10 lots, that's $1 million. As you can see from our testimonials, the majority of our clients at the Gold and Silver Club are utilizing our proprietary research-driven trading approach. They have already made in excess of 6, 7, 8-figure returns, and we still have another 5 months left of the year to go. If you have been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the massive trading opportunities so far this year, but you still want to make 2025 your best ever, go to jointhegoldandsilverclub.com now to learn how our mentorship program can take your trading to the next level. Time, it is the most valuable commodity that we have. Make sure that you do not waste it. As a member, you get access to our exclusive live trading room webinars. You get access to real-time trade ideas, access to institutional research and market intelligence, access to our private members academy website, and also support and one-to-one mentoring. For more information, just go to jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description. Just click on the link, make an application. We will get in touch ASAP.